I would argue a few scenes have been recreated for dramatic effect. And it sounds like one outright lie comes at the beginning of this documentary.
Well, and there's also been some controversy. Now, Richard, the media obviously do come in for a lot of criticism in this docu-series, but people online have pointed out that there are inconsistencies about how the paparazzi, for example, are not the same as newspaper photographers, and the difference between media and social media. What was your take on all of that?
Well, that's what, as a journalist, it was a very difficult watch, because there's going to be lots of, millions of people around the world are going to watch this and get a very false impression. So it should be clear. So, Princess Diana did suffer great intrusion, and Harry talks about that movingly in the first episode, and that's all true. But everything has changed so much. By the time that Meghan, before she even knew Harry, a long time before that, the environment's completely changed. And so when what they did in this programme was use examples of intrusion, and they were all in America. So at one point they see them being followed by photographers in a car behind. That can't happen in Britain. We do not follow. There's no pursuit. That doesn't happen. And they were showing all the other elements of intrusion, and that was all in America or Canada. And it didn't happen to Meghan at all. She would walk round, with no one following her or anything. I know that one of my colleagues bumped into her in the supermarket below our building.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she really wasn't treated in the same way as Diana at all.
What did you make, Charlotte, of Meghan's comment that no matter what I did, they were still going to find a way to destroy me?
God, I think the word "destroy me" it's such strong language.
She obviously does feel that way.
Yeah, she clearly feels really hurt and really damaged by her experience here, which is sad, because I'm afraid the tabloid press was always going to hold her to account, and that is something the tabloid press does. So that if there are inconsistencies with her private jet use, then yeah, we're probably going to highlight that. But I still to this day believe that the media were open-hearted towards her at the beginning of her experience in the UK, and we were not seeking to destroy her at all.
The coverage of Meghan was amazing. I would say it was largely sycophantic, really. Everyone loved it, and as well, the royal family loved having someone of colour marrying into the royal family. It was great for diversity, for their image. The idea that there was hostility in Britain from the media or the royal family is a complete nonsense.
Richard, Harry complains that his family, and I think we can assume safely that this means William and Charles, said basically my wife had to put up with this, so yours will have to too. And he says that the difference is race.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because you can kind of understand their attitude in the sense that why should you have special measures? Because I think that's what he was asking for. I think he was asking for sort of greater protection for Meghan while she was still his girlfriend, stuff like that. And as is shown in the programme, all the other women had suffered that level of intense scrutiny from Diana to Fergie to Sophie Wessex.
But maybe he has a point that it was never okay.
Yeah, why has there always been a policy that royal girlfriends shouldn't have protection, by the way? I'm on Harry's side about that. As soon as you're going out with a high-level royal, give them protection. I don't see why there's such a big problem.
But I think, so his point was there was a racial element which sort of made it much worse.
Which made it more dangerous as well.
Which I'm not sure if that was the case or not. But certainly that's sort of something he's holding against his family rather than the media, isn't it? He clearly thinks they should have done more to protect her or whatever. But I think they were well protected while they were here. And in that case, why would you then give up that level of protection? That they had the most amazing protection in this country.
Because they want a private life, Richard.
And they gave it all up to go to America, where they have to pay for their own protection and where they're not treated in this same favourable way that the royal family is here. It's quite inconsistent, I think.
Thanks for watching. On Thursdays, don't forget to tune into Palace Confidential, your weekly look at all things royal.